Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Talk with JWock. I'm your host, Jonah Walkenfoos, and today we will be looking back at how my 2024 goals went, especially since we are in a new year of 2025. Happy New Year, by the way. And then also, we will be talking about my future goals for 2025 and just the foreseeable future for this podcast and how I can continue to grow in it with not just how I can grow, but how I can help you guys become more engaged with the podcast. So if you want to hear more about that, make sure to stay tuned. Once again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Talk with JWock. This is episode number 38, and we are getting closer and closer to episode 50 as we are getting... I just can't believe we are almost at 50 total episodes of this podcast. And I just want to make a quick announcement. At episode number 50, I'm going to want to bring in multiple guests for this podcast and to potentially make it a little bit longer of an episode just to kind of celebrate on 50 amazing episodes of this podcast and how far we've truly come. And we will maybe reflect back. We'll talk about certain things going on with sports at that time. You know, there's going to be a lot of things changing at that time. So, that's really exciting. I also want to say I apologize for not posting or uploading an episode last week because it is Christmas time and I wanted to celebrate the birth of Jesus and just kind of take a week off and just relax with family. So thank you guys so much for your patience, and we're back on schedule. We upload every Friday at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. So just make sure to stay tuned for that. Check me out on Instagram to hear more about that, and I will talk about all of that later on in the episode. But anyways, let's get into how 2024 went and then how we can move forward into 2025 and make some progress here. So from the start of my podcast, I basically started in like late January, early February for this podcast. Now on YouTube, I didn't. I started on Spotify, so that was pretty cool. Just to see the transition from Spotify to YouTube. It's been a significant transition. And one thing I do want to ask is, should I go back to Spotify? If I should, comment down below. Hit the like button as well. Just let me know if I should bring it back to Spotify so you guys don't just have to watch me. You could also just listen to me, whether, if you're doing your dishes or you're going to work or something, or you're just bored in school and you don't have anything else to do. You can listen to me. But anyways, let me know about that. Do not worry about these lights. They keep flickering. I apologize for that. We will be working on that as well. It's a new year. Gotta really fix my lights. But anyways, let's talk about some of the goals we made to finish off 2024. And let's talk about if we accomplish them or not. So one of the main things I wanted to do was get 50 views per episode. I did not accomplish that, but I got around 30 views for episodes. So honestly, I think that's a small success by itself. I started around 10 or 12 views per episode kind of at the beginning of the year. So just to be able to triple it to about 30 is an accomplishment by itself. So thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing for that. And I can't thank you guys enough for that. Another thing I wanted to do was get to 25 subscribers by the end of the year. We blew that out of the waters. I am at 47 now, and I'm so thankful for all 47 of you. You guys are all amazing. And I hope we can continue to grow in subscriber count in the coming year of 2025. And then I had two more things, kind of as my goals. I wanted to do a Q&A like every month. I didn't get to that. School kind of got in the way, especially work and also just other outside stuff, but I am going to try to bring that back this year. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it every month, but if you guys have any questions you want to ask me about certain sports topics that you want me to answer, give me those questions so I could do designated episodes when I have enough questions to be able to build up and answer those questions for you guys in a certain episode. And then I also wanted to add more guests. I only had one guest this year on YouTube, and that was my little cousin Grayson. I'm going to want him to come back. I'm going to invite him again, but I also want multiple people to come on as well. Like I said earlier in episode 50, I want to have a bunch of guests. So if you guys are interested, let me know. I can always give you details. If you don't feel comfortable on camera, we can always do a Spotify exclusive episode or something like that as well if you would like that. But anyways, that was 2024. We had a great year, but it's time to look forward into 2025 for the future. So, if we're just going to go based off of the criteria of what I made for goals last year, I was trying to get 50 views per episode. I'm around 30 right now. Let's get to 50 views per episode by the end of this year. I think that is a simple goal, and I think that's something we could definitely accomplish. Like I said, once again, please ignore the lights. They are just really... I don't know if that'll actually show on camera, but they keep flashing. Anyways, 50 views per episode this year. Let's get to that. Let's make this happen. Next, I am at currently 47 subscribers. I want to get to 80 subscribers by the end of the year. I know that is still about 33 subscribers away, so we're almost doubling our subscriber count, but let's do it. I think we can. But I'm going to need your guys' help. I'm going to need you to spread the word about the podcast. Subscribe if you aren't. I know we have a decent amount of people who aren't subscribed that are watching these videos. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's completely free. All you have to do is have an account on YouTube, and then you can just hit subscribe. You could also hit the bell icon, so then it notifies you when there are future episodes that are being uploaded. So that's kind of cool as well. The Q&A I kind of mentioned earlier. I want to be able to do more Q&As, which is just question and answer. So basically, you give me a question and I'll answer it for you. Even if it's about, talking bad about the Bulls or the Broncos, like, great. Which, by the way, I don't know if 2025 is going to help both of those teams at all, but hopefully. And then finally, with more guests, I'm just going to have to reach out to more people. And also, if you want to be a guest and maybe I don't think of you, it's not because I don't want you to be on the podcast. It's just because maybe I just forgot. So if you do want to be on the podcast, just let me know. Message me on Instagram or whatever. Comment down below on the video. Just be like, hey, can I be a part of this podcast? Can I be on one of the episodes and stuff? And then I'll start messaging you, and I'll get we'll get that figured out and sorted. So if you want to be on a podcast, let me know. I would really enjoy more people on the podcast because it's really fun just to be able to talk to other people about sports and just put it on the podcast. So anyways, that is kind of my goals for 2025, just to continue to grow in my channel, whether that's subscribers, viewers, more content. I just want to be able to make this experience very enjoyable for you guys. I don't want this to be just the same old plain boring content. I want this to be different than a lot of other podcasts, because guess what? This is a different podcast and I'm just different than everybody else. I want to be different than everybody else. I don't want to kind of fit in with all the other criteria of how people do their podcasts, especially with sports. I want to be able to make it more interesting and just kind of different from the rest. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. That's kind of all I had. I don't know if I said this earlier, but I do have a new microphone right here, if you haven't noticed already. So if my voice sounds a little different, that's why. If it's too loud or too quiet, please comment below and let me know. I want to hear from you guys as well. I think I got the volume pretty good now, but if it's not yet, please let me know. Also, just give me some advice on my podcast for the future. If there's some goals that maybe I missed out on, let me know, because that would be really great for you guys to be able to give me that advice, because I don't want this just to be me trying to improve. I want this to be you guys giving me feedback as well, because it's very beneficial to me, and you guys have been great last year. Let's do it again this year. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Sports Talk with JWock. Remember to tune in to next episode's podcast on Friday, where we will be talking about the playoff teams and the playoff picture for the NFL, since we will know who is going to make the playoffs. So make sure to stay tuned on Friday at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. And in the meantime, I hope you all have an amazing week. God bless.